And Juanita Skillman is here today, and I apologize to her that I'm not wearing lavender or purple. Or, sorry.
Disappointed.
But it's good to have you on here today, and we are talking about the budget that is starting up.
Yes.
And we have a chart on the screen. Now this chart really covers United, of course, but Third and GRF as well.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is it's the dates.
Yes.
And you'll see the first ones on there that are coming up for United are next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. And these are, if you will, pre-budget meetings. These are our service level meetings. This is where we go in and talk. Maintenance and landscape are our two largest areas in our budget.
Right.
So we go in and talk to those departments and we say, this is what we'd like. These are our priorities. This is what we would like to increase. This is the one that can maybe go on the back burner a little bit. The board makes the decisions of where the money is going to be spent, in that we actually budget the money.
Right.
And it's so important that we have these first meetings so that they understand what we want, we understand where they're coming from, because they come through at these meetings with a proposal based on current needs and what we've done historically and what we have planned budget-wise.
Right.
And then we make changes or update or ask for different things or those kinds of things. Now, I want to emphasize that all of these meetings are open meetings. They're in the boardroom, and if you're interested in the budget process, if this is something, don't just listen to rumor, come and find out what's really going on. So after these two meetings in May, we have a break in June where GRF has some of their meetings, and we start up again in July. And July 12th is when they're going to come back to us with the proposed budget, depending on what we have set and prioritized and asked for in May. And then, of course, we have a meeting in August. We have version 1 and version 2, because even with the July meeting, there are changes that can be made. For instance, we aren't sure what our increases are going to be for water and electricity.
Right.
Both SCE and El Toro Water have said rates are going up, but they haven't given us any numbers.
Yeah.
So it's hard to budget correctly.
Right.
And so those are some of the things that might be changed come July or August if we find that there's major increases and we have to put more money in those areas.
Okay, and I want to mention something that when it comes to the August meeting that we show on the air, a lot of people think that is the final. It's not. You tweak it a little bit, and then you vote on that in your September board meeting.
Yeah, September is when we have the final, and we actually approve it.
Yes.
And when we approve it, that's when it goes into this. This is our green book. This is our financial Bible. This is available to residents, and most of the information in here is online. And the nice thing about this is it is not just United. If you're interested in what GRF or Third are doing, they're in here, and that information is available to everybody. It's very frustrating when I hear people say that this is all done in a back room without people knowing what's going on, the residents knowing what's going on, etc. No, it is all open. And the other point that I would like to make is that under each of these tabs, we have all of the different areas. We've got operating division, the CEO, resident services, general services, landscape services, broadband, information services, financial services, security services, recreation services, human resources, and maintenance and construction. Now that's a lot to put in a budget. But these are all in there, and all of the information on our reserves, which is another thing that has been coming up lately, where they've been questioning that we are not making the reserves public and that things are going on behind the scenes. That's all in here. We have the planned expenditures from the reserve plan. We have all of the information about what we've got. We've got the audit from the reserve plan. We certainly have the business plan summary of what we think operationally we're going to need. All of this information is available to any resident who is interested. Now, a lot of residents aren't. They said, we elect you to do this for us. We're retired. We don't want to get there. But there's always a few who think that somehow or other we're hiding something, and we're not. And I have to tell you, Ken, one of the things that frustrates me most is when I hear these rumors or people call and ask me, and they think that VMS and Brad Hudson are spending our money. They're somehow or other getting into our funds that they're not supposed to do. They do nothing that we haven't budgeted.
Right.
We budget. We're on the big top umbrella area. We budget. We say we have this much for this project. How it's spent for that project and the timing on that project, we leave up to them. They're the experts.
Right.
So each of these different divisions know we're going to start this in March, or that's not the right time, especially in landscape. There are specific seasons. We're not going to do it till then. And so all of a sudden there's a lot of money spent, or for months there's no money spent, and people are saying, wait, something's wrong. No. And I want to emphasize again, they do not spend one penny that we do not budget. So it all comes back to the boards. The boards have finance committees that meet every other month, and every month we get reports, even if we don't have a regular meeting. And we very carefully look at how they're spending the money that we have budgeted them. And so we give them leeway to spend the money to do what we ask them to do without looking over their shoulder saying, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do this? Why did there? But in the Finance Committee, we can see how that money's being spent and keep tabs on it.
And important thing is, as you said, the two biggest ticket items, M&C, of course, in landscape. And those meetings are coming up next week. Let me see if I want to have this right here, because one date is below the other, but the first one is Tuesday, May 22nd.
And that's landscape.
And that is...
I'm sorry, that's
it's opposite on the charter, so I want to make sure.
Right, and Wednesday then is landscape, and Tuesday is M&C. And it's important, I think, that all of the residents be really interested, particularly in M&C, because we have so many infrastructure expenses in a 50-year-old community. I mean, everybody knows we've got waistline, we've got dry rot, we've got all kinds of things because of aging, and quite frankly, because they weren't taken care of on a regular basis before this. So there are a lot of expenses that have come up that really affect our residents, and when it happens to them, and they have a waistline problem, now that says, why haven't you fixed this? Well, it takes money. Yeah. And that's what our budgeting is. So we have to look and see, can we speed up the project? Right now, the waistline project, I think, is scheduled for 11 years to cover all of the manors. Do we want to cut that in half? How much would it cost? What extra resources do we need to put to that? So those are the kinds things that we're looking at next week. And the same thing for maintenance. You hear a lot of complaints about maintenance. They're not doing this, or they don't do this to my satisfaction. That's when we tell them these are the service levels that we expect. And then they can come back to us and say, this is what it's going to cost. All right, very good. Thank you for the overview. And again, for United's meetings, their maintenance review is going to be Tuesday, May 22nd, 9:30 in the boardroom. You know, next week when I tell you about the meetings, we'll talk about this again. And then their landscape review is Wednesday, May 23rd, 10 o'clock, also in the boardroom. Right, and everybody's invited. If you have an interest in finance, please come and let us know what you think. All right, thank you very much. Good to see you. Thank you. Take care, and we'll be right back.